It's Collette from the Sacred Rose Temple, and I'm here today to give you this week's energy report on the 3rd of the 3rd, which is obviously a very significant day. How did we get here to March? That's what I'm wondering as I sit here today musing on this week's energy. I'm sure that you would understand that it's been quite a difficult ride, actually. The whole energies are supporting us to heal and to bring things into consciousness. But what that means is that a lot's coming up that we'd sooner it not. So if you've been feeling that the last couple of weeks has been different, well, more than a couple of weeks, it's just been since January, hasn't it? It's been like really ongoing. But it's not all, it's not against us. We have to remember it's for us. And on this day, the 3rd of the 3rd, we're looking at a sacred number that's linked to creativity, growth, and manifestation. It's about completing a cycle. And, lots of things come into three on a sacred path, the threefold path, the Trinity. We've got the triple goddess, creation and manifestation, the three keys of wisdom, which are understanding, compassion, discipline. It's also the emergence of our higher self. It is where we complete something, the beginning, the middle, and the end. It's the birth of new ideas, creativity, and alignment. So today is trying to really allow us to embody where we're going and what we're doing and some of the things that have been happening and going on for us. So I do need to mention here that we are closing a cycle since August 2023. And over the next 20 days, we're still deeply emerged in the Venus retrograde, and she is casting light on our relationships, too many things. And I've shared that in last week's report, but I do just want to emphasize that on a on a different frame in this week, that it's going to be about your relationship with others, particularly lovers, and patterns in your marriage or your relationship or in previous relationships that are showing themselves now. You have to have the discernment and the ability and the spiritual prowess and consciousness to be able to realize that whatever's happening for you right now is showing you about you and what needs to change, even if you feel like it's coming from another person is only trying to reflect back at us what we need to heal, work with, and move away from. So if this is somebody in relationship with and you're in like a spat or there's problems there, then this is the energy that's trying to say, look, there's patterns here for you. It's not about them. What do you need? What is this showing you? Is there anything that you can heal from it? And I've been going through that. I think I'm in a deep stage of realizing that there's been so many things that I wish I'd have said and things that I've allowed. And yeah, I'm taking ownership for that now and saying, actually, like I've looked back and reflected on the places that I need to grow. These are them. And this is what I want. And I can voice that and share that and bring that into, consciousness. So what is it? It could be relationships that are coming up a lot for you. Venus always does. It might be your relationship with money, with your career. We're having an intense human experience right now, psychologically, emotionally, and the autonomy is coming up in relation to relationships. So it's about really finding our self-worth again. Like, I am worth time, I am worth conversation, I am worth devoting to. And all of those things that are coming up for you should be voiced. What is it you want to claim? Where have you been quiet before? What are you now being asked to do in relation to your relationship with others and with yourself? It really is boiling down to your self-worth. Do you value yourself? Where have you let things slip before? Where are you not asking for what you need and, to be valued and connected to and to be, you know, can, able to be compassionate to you and loving to you are really part of your own deal with yourself about what you allow and what you don't allow and what you want and don't want. And we've got to make that really clear right now. What do we want? What do we not want? what do we want to change in our life? Where are we going forward in the things that we do want from life? I think that's going to be even more important as we move forward in this collective energy. And I would really say that, you know, you've got to look at relationships to see whether they're diminishing you or they're magnifying you. Are they bringing you joy? Are they bringing you happiness? Does the person make you feel good about yourself? Do you feel good about yourself? So it's establishing this energy is allowing us to establish deep, authentic relationships. It's about getting rid of the things you've put up with before and being vocal and communicative about what you want and what you need, and allowing the relationships that don't respect that or align with that to go. And that will allow you to heal some wounds too. Taking a look at where in your wounded past you've allowed certain behaviors that you shouldn't have, and reclaiming that in this. And that takes some deep analysis. It really does. It takes a person of a certain consciousness to be able to go there. Even if you're in a current relationship, where does that current relationship need to grow? Where is it not serving you? How can you feel better in that relationship? How can you grow together? So be vulnerable. Try not to go into any defensive kind of places going, oh, well, I can't believe you would say that. Or, any projections onto the other people, picking stuff up from them when they're trying to share something that they need. That's not emotionally intelligent to do that. We really need to sit and say, okay, like, do you feel heard? Can we speak about that? Like, tell me what's going on for you, and noticing when we feel disturbed by it or triggered by it, because we are triggered as human beings. That's natural. But what's that bringing up for me here? So yeah, it's about a total reevaluation of relationships and your emotions, and you addressing what are the underlying issues you're dealing with right now. So write them down. I'm dealing with not being heard in the past, not communicating that I need more. What is it that you feel are the underlying issues that are coming up? And really is about thinking about whether you're going to stay or go. Relationships in with work, with siblings, with parents, with friends, with lovers. It's about relationship. So do you stay or do you go? It's going to be a big key question. What's important for you? I think that there's going to be also with Venus retrograde this week a specific focus on image and what you look like and how does that make you feel. I actually covered this in my druidry class this week about shapeshifting. And actually, the energy of shapeshifting asks us to be aware of like our somatic body and also the way we show ourselves. So, maybe it's time you had a bit of an overhaul on yourself. How do you want to present? How do you want to feel? How do you want to be seen? I think these are really important. I wouldn't do that right now during retrograde. It's not good to have like a to do that now, but to be thinking about it. Like, what do I want to feel like when I put clothes on? How do I want people to receive me? That's all going to come up right now. But the stage here now is going to be like a really key stage. If you're having the discussions that you need to have in relationships, then things will change in for the better for you. If you don't, then they're going to continue. But March the 22nd offers us a really new cycle to walk in. So I really want to be thinking by today, the 3rd, what am I dealing with? And I can think of a triple, 3 things I really want to take forward onto March the 22nd when the new cycle starts. And these new things that I'm taking forward, I've been in reflection of my wounds that I hold and those wounds that I'm healing and do not want to take forward into this cycle. Because as the eclipse comes in on the 14th, that is going to be a time of release. You will be releasing the things that have shown themselves not to be beneficial to you, and you'll walk into a brand new energy, which is brilliant. So I really think there's some key questions you can ask yourself here. So I'm going to give you them now. Number 1, What old wounds or patterns in my relationships need to be healed or released so I can step into a more authentic and empowered way of loving myself and others? So, this question is going to invite you to look at past relationship dynamics, especially those that have been shaped by trauma, unhealed wounds, patterns of self sacrifice. Retrograde is going to dig deep into how you love and value yourself and let in all baggage that prevents you from experiencing love in its liberated and authentic form. The second question: how can I align with my truest, most courageous self during the upcoming Aries solar eclipse energy? What bold steps am I preparing to take to embrace my personal power? So obviously, like I said, the eclipse is about new beginnings and empowerment. Reflect on the areas of your life where you're holding back. Ask yourself what it would look like to move forward with courage, authenticity, and self-belief. Are there areas where you're still afraid to take risks? Basically, this is saying, get the encouragement to step into your personal power, face the fears and the self-imposed limitations. And then the third question I wanted to pose to you was, what balance between independence and connection do I need to cultivate in my relationship, especially with myself, as we approach the full moon in, the lunar eclipse in Libra? Libra asks us to reflect on the balance between self and others. How much do we give? How much do we take? What do we receive? This is particularly important for women, I feel, that I work with, where we're kind of induced into this belief that it's good to overgive and we're always giving, giving, giving. And we are really bad at receiving, and we're bad at asking for the things we want to receive. And this is key in relationship. If you're not being listened to, if you're not being received when you're asking for something, this dynamic won't work. It will drain you. It will not allow for that vital part of you to come out and express herself. So the lunar eclipse in Libra will offer us an opportunity to recalibrate our relationship so that we can find the healthy dynamic between self-empowerment and connection. And I think that's like amazing for all of us, isn't it? We all need this. And retrograde, the Venus retrograde, is the return of the divine feminine. Venus is beauty, relationships, values. She's the goddess of love. She's a feminine power. And the key symbol of the Venus is the rose, and the shell and the coming to life, the returning to love. So it's beautiful symbology to work with, also with the Libra, and the Libra, the sign of balance, relationships, justice, the equilibrium between giving and receiving, the self and the other, the fairness and the harmony. It's big symbology to work with. I feel that the last thing I want to just leave with you, because I'll put these questions below this recording, is think about the archetypes you're currently working with within your own psyche at the moment. I'm working with the women who runs with wolves. I've been leading that course for over 15 months now. And really, I'm at the point, and my dreams are showing me, and my analytical exploration, psychological analytical exploration is showing that I'm trying to integrate king and queen energy within my psyche. And that's appropriate for a woman of my age. But what does that mean? What does it mean to hold the queen archetype in your psyche? Clear expression, strong boundaries, asking for what I want and need, and inviting in king energy. But what does king energy mean? It means structure. It means listening, meeting. They have different qualities, and so I want to work with them inside my own psyche, as my dreams are showing me. I mean, dream analysis, and my dreams are showing me these energies within me that are trying to create this sacred harmony inside of me. And I'm striving for that outside of me as well, and asking for that outside of me in the way I relate and who I relate with. Can you hear me? Can you listen? Can you see and feel what I'm trying to ask for in this relationship. And that way to be able to communicate isn't always easy. We don't always get it right. But if we know what archetype we're dealing with within our psyche, we can really try to be in that archetype. But you've got to know the archetype. So here's a little competition. If you have a feeling you know what the archetype is you're working with, then we can do a quiz underneath this video. You can put your archetype and I'll give you some little tips. I'll give a few people some tips. If you don't know the archetype you're working with and you want to, I'm quite willing to do a session as well with people to discover the key archetype that's trying to emerge in their psyche during this transmission, during this transition from the planets and the astrological lineups. So, yeah, I feel it's really important work at the minute, and it's showing itself in my life to be really potent healing and medicine. And I'd love to offer that to other people as they try their hardest to come into a new cycle in their lives. So, I hope that's been helpful. I hope you feel empowered by this energy. I know it's difficult. Literally, I had just an intense day yesterday of trying to reclaim certain points of my feelings and communication and putting it into God's hands. I literally woke up this morning from my dream saying, Inshallah, and knowing that I've got to trust God's will, speaking my truth, speaking my mind, coming out of what's right and wrong, just saying, This is how I feel. Can you listen? Is allowing God to then play that out however it wants to play out. And I do trust my relationship and connection to the divine. So I wait patiently for the aftermath of speaking out my desires and needs and wants and not being ashamed or in fear of that. So whatever it is you want, I hope that you can speak it out during this Venus retrograde. Be strong in your feeling of wanting deeper connection, deeper love, deeper relating, and really pray for you all during this time. So ride it sweetly, lovingly, but ride it. It can take us somewhere new and allow us to embrace that Venus love, beauty, energy we all have been seeking. So bye for now. Take care, Collette.